Well, 1:30 now here at the KFYR Plus News Desk, and good news is on the horizon. The Federal Reserve is poised to make their first interest rate cut in years, possibly this fall, which now can influence mortgage rates to go down. Joining me to discuss is Jenny Manning, who is a real estate expert. Welcome, Jenny. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Look forward to talking to you about this.
Yeah, so let's talk about how do you expect the potential interest rate cut by the Federal Reserve to impact this housing market that we have now?
Well, I first want to say that it's not necessarily a fact that if the feds drop the rates, that doesn't mean the mortgage rates are going to drop. Just
Mm-hmm.
like this week, they didn't drop the rate and interest rates dropped. So it can affect the market. Buyers can qualify where they couldn't before, or qualify for more house, which they can buy more house, or they can have lower interest rates. Oh,
Sure.
mortgage payment. Excuse me.
Mortgage payment. Uh,
hmm
so if they do, let's say it does drop the mortgage, can you explain how lower mortgage rates might influence buyer behavior and the demand?
Well, there will be a lot of buyers probably getting off the fence and starting to look for houses and wanting to write offers. However, when interest rates drop and they do that, there's more buyers in the market, more competition, which means more people are going to be bidding against um, your offer, and you could possibly pay even more
So it'd be a
than
seller's
you would
market,
have.
wouldn't it?
Uh-huh. Yes. It's always best to go ahead and buy now. You can uh, refinance later, but like I said, when rates drop, people always get out and are putting offers on houses, and
Yeah.
then we're in a bidding war.
So if demand increases and outpaces the supply, how might that affect some home prices despite the lower interest rates? It's going to drive those prices through the roof, isn't it?
It is. It will. When interest rates drop, prices usually go up. Same thing happens after the elections. A lot of people wait until after the elections. Well, historically, home sales and home prices have gone up after the elections. Nine
Hmm.
out of the last 11 elections, they did that.
What would be the cause of that? Do you know?
More confidence in what's going on. They don't know who or what's going to happen after the elections, so they're waiting. They're always waiting. This is always election year is always slow.
It is, isn't it? Okay. How might first-time home buyers, though, however, benefit from lower mortgage rates, and what advice would you give them?
Well, they're going to be able to qualify, and first of all, a lot of them can't qualify at this point with the higher interest rates, but they'll be able to buy more house than what they would have with the higher rates.
Hmm.
And my advice again is go ahead and find that house, call your realtor, get things going on looking, get pre-qualified, and be ready. And when you find something, go ahead and buy it. Don't wait for the rates to drop, because we don't know when the rates are going to drop.
Jenny, could lower interest rates impact the luxury housing market or those high-end buyers?
It could, but most high-end buyers aren't affected that much by the interest rates. A lot of them are cash buyers
Hmm.
anyway, so I don't think they'll be affected that much.
Okay. What are some potential risks or downsides to an interest rate cut? Are there any, and how might that impact the housing market?
Well, the downside would be, as mentioned, that the more people are out there looking, which means you have more competition bidding on a house, and that's going to raise the price because you're bidding up on the price to be able to win that offer. So that's the downside.
Yeah. What is the impact for those that are looking to refinance and take advantage of these lower rates?
Well, they'll have lower mortgage payments. I would probably wait a little bit, because it probably won't make that big of a rate decrease until probably the middle or late next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to wait a little bit if you're thinking about refinancing.
Okay,
But if you're going to buy, go ahead and buy now.
sure. And finally, what role do you think investor activity might play in the market if interest rates decrease?
They're going to be buying too. Um, and they're going to want to have already some houses that they want to flip
Mm-hmm.
or rent out. So it's going to be overall good for everybody.
What's the potential impact on housing affordability, especially for those low or moderate income buyers?
Well, they'll be able to afford more if the interest rates are lower.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Some of them can't even qualify now. The higher interest rates push them out of the market. So they're going to be more affordable now.
Over the last few years, Jeannie, have you seen home builders building smaller homes? Do you remember? I mean, 15 years ago, the homes were just getting called McMansions. They were just getting so big. Have you seen the downsize in the market of home builders now that they're getting smaller?
Mm, no, not here in Texas. We do
Not in
everything
Texas.
big.
Okay. It was a question
uh,
that came up on
but
ABC News this week, and I was just wondering if you saw it in your, I guess, expertise, because some builders now are saying that they're building their homes 5 to 10% smaller.
well, there are some builders that have gone into that market, that first-time home buyer market, and have cut out some things to make it more affordable.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying, overall, here they're still building a lot of big houses.
Still building those big McMansions out there in Texas, aren't they? Everything's
Uh-huh,
bigger and better there.
that's right.
What advice would you give to sellers in a market where interest rates are decreasing and demand might increase?
To get their house price in order, there's a lot of people that are still hanging on to several years ago with those
Hmm.
high prices. They need to get into reality, reduce the price, because we've seen a lot of price reductions in the last 6 months. So they need to get their price right and get their house, anything that needs to be fixed or staged or whatever it needs to be done, get it done so they'll be prepared when buyers come out of the woodwork and start looking at houses.
That's right. So is it Jenny or Jeannie? I apologize.
Jenny,
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 thank you. Jenny Manning, we appreciate your expertise on this matter so much, and I sure hope you have a fantastic day.
thank you. You too. Appreciate you.
Thank you now. We'll catch up with you maybe very soon, okay?
Okay.
You got it. 138 here at the desk. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with a look at news headlines and entertainment news coming up next.